Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2020 with AFC Bournemouth. We are at the final 3 games of the season. Now, I know this is a little bit further ahead than what we were planning, and basically I kind of got a bit excited and carried away and thought I'm just going to play some more games. Today, it is going to be Newcastle, it's going to be Crystal Palace, and it is going to be Spurs. The Palace game might be highlights, I'm not quite sure. In between episodes then, it's not been particularly good for us. We played Watford, we beat them 1-0 with a 93rd minute winner from Callum Wilson. We played Manchester City in the FA Cup 6th round. We played extremely defensive, still lost 1-0. Then a 0-0 draw against Leicester. Then a 4-1 defeat against Liverpool. Lewis Cook on the score sheet for us. A 1-0 victory against Norwich. Lewis Cook on the score sheet for us once again. And a 2-0 defeat at home against Arsenal. The problem we're having is we're not scoring any goals. And the only ones we are scoring are either from Lewis Cook or very, very late on in the game. Because we did manage to pick up a couple of victories in that though, we're still doing pretty well in the league table. 6th place at the moment, obviously 3 games left to play. We are just about in 6th place because Spurs are 1 point behind us. It's because they draw a lot, we lose a lot. Basically, that's kind of the payoff. 12 defeats we've had all season have come from 11 of the top 6. 11 games played against the top 6 opposition and Everton. We've got the final one of the top 6 opposition in today's episode, and that is going to be Spurs, so I'm expecting we're going to finish with 22 wins, 3 draws, and 13 defeats. We have also had our youth intake through, and I said at the end of last episode that if it's any good, I'll show you. It wasn't great. We did get 1 or 2 players that were good enough to join the squad, though. And that was Glyn Betsy, who isn't great. He's got 1-star current ability and potentially 3-star ability. And the good midfielder from Portishead is River Stainfield, 17 years old English central midfielder. Apparently, he's as good or similar type of player to Jefferson Lerma, apparently. I'm not quite sure I see that. 1-star current ability, potentially 4-star ability in the future. Of all the players that came through our youth system, he is arguably our best one. I say arguably, he's definitely our best one. Mentally, he's good. Everything else needs a little bit to be desired. Passing's good, free kick's good. Everything else is around 6, 7, 8, something like that, so needs a bit of work. But he is only 17 years old. Match number 1 then of the episode, up against Steve Bruce's Newcastle. He's still in charge. They are on the edge of a relegation battle, just 3 points ahead of Sheffield United, who are playing Chelsea today. Burnley and Villa have already been relegated. Liverpool are the champions, and they did it against us. So after the match, there was a big old celebration after we lost to them, which kind of annoyed me a bit. The starting lineup we're going to go for then. In goal will be Jack Butland, a back 4 of Stacey, Posh, Ake and Dix. Jack Stacey will be playing until the end of the season because Kev has picked up 15 yellow cards to be suspended for the final 3 games, which is a pain in the ass, but you know, Stacey's good enough, I guess. The midfield diamond will be Jefferson Lerma, Lewis Cook, Seko Fofana and David Brooks, with Solanke and Wilson as the strikers. You might spot there's a lot of unhappy players. Ake, Wilson, Cook in particular, I think there's a few more. They all want to leave for bigger clubs. So yeah, this also happened and I basically pissed them all off. Newcastle once again playing a very strange formation. Why I think this is strange? They've got 2 central midfielders and one of them's John Joe Shelby. If we can pick up 2 victories from our final 3 games, I think we're going to finish 6th. Just a hunch, although obviously we do have Spurs as that last game, and if we win both of our games and lose to Spurs, and Spurs win all 3 of their games, we will be finishing 7th. Dix with the ball finds Solanke on the right hand side to Jefferson Lerma. Inside to Mitchell. Dix once again finds Jack Stacey. If he can keep it in play, he does just about, crosses in, cleared from Shelby. Jefferson Lerma now with the ball. Across, Lewis Cook, who scored a couple of goals recently. Now down the right hand side, Jack Stacey, is he going to try and cross it in early? Plays it to Cook instead, go for goal buddy. He doesn't. Brooks, it's Seko Fofana, and Seko Fofana has his 6th goal of the season, all of them from outside the area. I am hoping at some point soon, and by soon I mean maybe Monday, Tuesday next week, there is a patch that is coming out that will fix the match engine, because at the moment, as much as we are doing really well in the league, I'm not enjoying this save because we're doing too well, which is stupid. But I think because the match engine is broken, we are overachieving, and it's nothing to do with me. Corner for Jack Stacey to take on the left. Solanke is there, his 10th goal of the season. Jack Stacey with an absolute cracking corner. Is Jack Stacey really good at corners, and I just haven't noticed this? Because normally David Brooks is the one taking them. 5 minutes to go until half-time. Wilson with the ball back to Mitchell Dix, the throw-in taker. Crosses in, Solanke's there, doesn't manage to win the ball. Lewis Cook backwards to Lerma, who can find Jack Stacey on the right-hand side, who's been tackled by Jetro Williams, who's now going to run down that left-hand side because he's got acres of space to run into because there is no Jack Stacey there. He's going to run it all the way off, isn't he? No, he is not. Ake heads clear. John Joe Shelby with a lovely head of hair on him, apparently. DeAndre Yedlin gets round Mitchell Dix in the middle to Joe Linton, who hits the post. Posh has managed to get a foot in, but Alain Saint-Maximin is there for the rebound. It is 2-1. The thing that annoyed me most about that goal is the fact that John Joe Shelby has hair. Throw in for Willems to take to Joel Linton on the left-hand side. Back to Jetro Willems, the throw-in taker. Keeps going inside. Jefferson Lerma's stolen the ball away, and it's a penalty. Is it a penalty? It is a penalty. VAR has said it's a penalty. Could be 2-2 at half-time. Who is stepping up against Jack Butland? It is Ki Sung Young, goes for goal into the bottom, and it is 2-2. And at half-time then, there has been 30 shots, because that's normal. There's been 4 goals as well. 45 minutes and 4 additional minutes. That's ridiculous. Gonna give them an angry team talk. Jason Tyndall says we should give them a morale boost. No, my 2 central defenders don't seem to care, which is a concern. 60 minutes in, and we have a highlight. I was just about to do some subs. Stacey to Lerma. Plays it forward to Brooks. Back to Jack Stacey on the right-hand side. He's got acres of space to run into and doesn't want to do it, apparently. Lewis Cook finds Stacey in that space. It's going to be a penalty for us. Someone's gone down like they were shot in the back of the head. It is going to be a penalty. It is going to be Callum Wilson stepping up to take it, because he's our usual penalty taker. Here he goes then. It's going to be his 17th goal of the season, something like that, into the bottom corner. It's a good penalty. 16th goal of the season for Callum Wilson. We are back in front against Newcastle. Highlight straight after the goal. I wanted to do a sub, but apparently I'm not allowed to. Kieran Clark to John Joe Shelby, intercepted by Jack Stacey. Finds Callum Wilson, who has to hold up play. Lewis Cook spreads the play across now to Mitchell Dix on the left-hand side. Is he going to get round his man, or is he going to get tackled? Plays it back to Brooks now for Fafana. Mitchell Dix, go round your man. Stop turning back the other way. Fafana. Dix has got some space now. Instead, plays it backwards. Lerma. Fafana. Lerma to Dix. Use the space down the left. Doesn't bother again. Fafana. Use the space down the left. Doesn't bother. Fafana crosses it into nobody. Was that the highlight? If that was the highlight, I'm not going to be happy. Seems to be carrying on. Dubravka's kick all the way over the top. Joel Linton on the volley. That is Route 1 football. That is Steve Bruce football right there. I can't believe they've scored that. Well, time for some subs. Stefan Posh is coming off. I don't think he was at fault for it, but he's looking complacent, so we're going to bring him off. Steve Cook is very upset because he wants to leave, so bringing him on's a good idea. We're going to do Wilson off for Surridge as well. I don't know why I'm playing Sam Surridge, but he's a Bournemouth player. He's a Bournemouth youth player. He's English. He's a striker. We have the opportunity to play him and develop him. Brooks with the ball from a clearance off of Jack Stacey's face. And he's gone for goal from probably about Hampshire, I think. Throw in for Mitchell Dix to take on the left. Jefferson Lerma with the ball, who's had a yellow card for the majority of the game. Dix now actually does run down the left, plays the long ball, tries to find Jack Stacey, heads into the middle. Clark heads clear. Stacey down though. Finds Cook, gets the ball back from the English central midfielder. David Brooks and Lewis Cook passing between the pair of them. Stacey, loads of space, doesn't use it. Cook to Brooks. Stacey wants. Stacey's not going to get it, is he? Fafana and Lerma now passing between the pair of them. Solanke finds Jack Stacey on the right, gets round his man, crosses into the back post. It's cleared, and it's going to come back for Jack Stacey, of all people. Cook and Fafana. Dix has some space. He's not going to use it, is he? He's never going to use it. Stops, plays it back to Brooks instead. Why does nobody ever cross? He's still got the ball, still doesn't cross. Brooks to Fafana, and Seko Fafana has his 2nd of the game, his 7th of the season, all of them from outside the area. This match is a bit of a mess, isn't it? 4-3, we've had 31 shots, 10 on target. They've had 13 and 8 on target. Gonna do our final substitution. It's gonna be Lerma for Billing. That is all we are gonna do because we can't do any more. Corner for Newcastle. It was Jamal Lascelles' effort, but it was wide of the post. Another throw-in on that left-hand side. Willems forward to Joel Linton. Now Miguel Almiron, who I think is an absolute brilliant footballer. Willems once again. Almiron again now with the ball. Back to Jetro. Miguel Almiron crosses in, loads of space. Mitchell Dix, though, has stolen the ball away. Sam Surridge, it's 3-on-1, and the one is Sam Surridge. If he can do anything from this, this is wonderful. Sam Surridge, of course he wasn't going to score. It ended up in a 1-on-1. He got around 3 players. Former Bournemouth player Matt Ritchie has just come on for Newcastle, but it's probably going to be too little, too late. It is too little, too late. It is a 4-3 victory, and that was a mess. Solanke has ended his goal drought, his first goal in 10 hours of football. Great. And Seko Fofana gets himself 2 goals in this match. So Spurs have yet to play their game. They're playing Palace later on. Even if they win, they will still be behind us. They'll be back on to 65 points. Chelsea did beat Sheffield United, so Chelsea are starting to run away. I say starting to run away. They're still 2 points clear of us. Match number 2 of the episode then is going to be up against Crystal Palace, and I'm just going to show you the goals if any of them do happen. Otherwise, I'll see you at half-time. In the 7th minute, we go 1-0 up, and who else but Mitchell Dix to score the goal, his 9th goal of the season. It was a great ball from Solanke, a half volley from Mitchell Dix into the back of the net, 1-0. Palace have had the ball in the back of the net, but it looks like it is going to be disallowed for offside. Against the run of play in the 26th minute, Jefferson Lerma has made it 2-0 with a goal from outside the area. It was a good finish from the Colombian. We are now 2-0 up. Just before we get to half-time, Jefferson Lerma has given away a penalty for Crystal Palace. Christian Benteke steps up against Aaron Ramsdale in the bottom corner. It's another penalty very late on in the first half. So 2-1 at half-time then. It is the second match in a row where the opposition team have scored a penalty in the 49th minute of the first half. Something's not quite right there. On the hour mark, Crystal Palace had the ball in the back of the net, but I think it is offside. It is offside. Maximilian Meyer. 70 minutes in and Crystal Palace have equalised because this match engine is broken. It is very badly broken. Literally, this highlight went end to end about 9 times before Camarasa scored. With 7 minutes left to play, Jefferson Lerma has just found the top corner like an absolute sniper with this effort from outside the area. What a finish that is from the Colombian. We are back in front. And it stays 3-2. That Jefferson Lerma strike is the difference between the two sides. That match was an example as to why this match engine is broken. 31 shots for Palace, 11 on target, 2 goals. Watching the highlights, they should have scored 7. We had 19 shots, 8 on target. We scored 3 goals. We probably should have only scored 1 of them. Well, that victory means that we have qualified for the Europa League. Wasn't expecting that, but I guess we will take it. We've moved up to 5th as well, but that is because Chelsea aren't playing until tomorrow. Transfer budget for next season, £47.12 million. I'm sure we'll spend that extremely quickly. So yes, league table-wise then, with 1 game left to spare, we cannot drop any lower than 6th place. Chelsea still have a game in hand over us. So let's assume we're probably going to be finishing in 6th, aren't we? Tottenham losing to Manchester City, so this final game of the season means pretty much nothing to both teams. Here we are then, the final game of the season, and interestingly, we are still 5th in the table. Chelsea must have lost their game in hand. They are up against Newcastle in their final match, who, fortunately for Newcastle, cannot get relegated. It's actually between Brighton and Sheffield United. If we pick up the 3 points today, we will be guaranteed 5th place, which is stupid, and it's definitely a bug. It's not a bug, but you know what I mean. We've overachieved. And it's not really down to what I've done. It's more down to the game being kind, I guess. 22 wins is a lot of wins. The starting lineup we are going to go for then. In goal will be Jack Butland, a back four of Jack Stacey, Stefan Posch, Nathan Ake and Mitchell Dix. This might be the last game that you get to see Nathan Ake. In midfield will be Fofana, Cook, Lerma and Brooks. Up front will be Sam Surridge and Callum Wilson. This might be the last time you get to see Callum Wilson as well. Quite a few of our players are actually wanted. Solanke is wanted by Palace and Newcastle. Billing is wanted by Watford. Josh King wanted by Palace and Newcastle as well. In the summer, there is potentially a big old clear-out happening. Seems like Pochettino's copying me, playing a 4-4-2 diamond. Right, let's not have 600 shots. Let's not concede a penalty in the 49th minute of the first half. Let's just have a nice, normal game of football, shall we? Stacey with the ball in the first highlight, crosses in. Surridge is there at the front post. He clips the post, but it goes over or wide or both, I don't know. Free kick for David Brooks on the left. In the middle to Wilson. Wilson's head is inches wide of that right-hand post. It is still 0-0. Oh, great. Jack Stacey's injured. And we do kind of have a right back. Corey Jordan. Here he is. I don't know why he's on the bench. I asked the assistant to pick the bench normally. Definitely not a right back. Doesn't mean he's not going to play there, though. Here is Corey Jordan to take the throw to Seko Fofana. Jordan gets the ball back. Surridge to Brooks. Plays it across Lerma with loads of space. Goes for goal, and that is bloody filth. Jefferson Lerma, his 6th goal of the season. His 3rd in 2 games. Did he score in the other match as well? Not quite sure. But Jefferson Lerma has put us in front against Tottenham Hotspur. And this is the first time against the Big Six we're actually winning a game. Highlight straight after the goal starts with a throw, and Ndombele forward now to Kyle Walker-Peters. Spreads the play across to the left-hand side to Ben Davies. Now Harry Kane back to Ben Davies. Got some company. He crosses it back to Kyle Walker-Peters once again. He's now spread the ball into the middle, and Harry Kane is there. His 22nd goal of the season on the 22nd minute. It is 1-1. Eriksen with the ball. This is his last game for Spurs, by the way, because he's out of contract at the end of the season, and I think he's joining PSG, or someone. He's leaving England anyway. It's a long ball upfield, but Corey Jordan can intercept it. Stefan Posch loses out to Dele Alli. He's got number 7 in the middle. He doesn't use him. Dele Alli scored a 1-on-1. I don't think that really counts as a 1-on-1, but he still scored it with 2-1 down. They've had 2 shots on target. Looks like this is how the league is going to finish, isn't it? We're going to finish in 6th place. We're not quite at half-time yet, but I can't imagine we're going to come back from being 2-1 down against Spurs. Walker-Peters on the right-hand side in front of a slightly jogging Pochettino for some reason. Walker-Peters plays it in the middle, intercepted by Posh. Jefferson Lerma, long ball from Nathan Ake. Callum Wilson's going to miss because it's a 1-on-1. Of course he does. It's still 2-1. And at half-time, it remains 2-1. I feel like this is unfair, saying Corey Jordan's had a mistake which has led to a goal. He's playing his debut. He's a centre-back playing at right-back. So, I feel like that's a bit harsh. I've just been angry at them. And then Jason Tindall has said to everybody, but don't worry, you've been unlucky. Brooks with a corner early on in the second half. It is Stefan Posch with an unmarked header over the bar. Posh is having a pretty bad game today, even though he's on a 6.9. He's definitely not doing so well. Throw in for Mitchell Dix, finds Callum Wilson, back to Fofana. Brooks now, Dix on the left-hand side. Is he going to run past his man? No, he's not. Crosses in, which is something he very rarely does. Corey Jordan, edge of the area. He's crossed the ball in. Callum Wilson at the back post, and his head is wide of the post. Callum Wilson is missing a lot of sitters at the moment. And because he's missing a lot of sitters, he is coming off. Josh King is going to be coming on. Sam Surridge also on a 6.6, which is not very good. We've got 15 minutes left to play. Surridge is now coming off for Solanke. We're going to do our final sub and then do a shout of show some passion. Sure, Lloris with the goal kick to Vertonghen. He's played it all the way across to Ben Davies on the left-hand side. Being closed down, plays it back to Davison Sanchez. Corey Jordan making his debut, controls it in his own half, loses out to Dele Alli but steals the ball back and then loses it once again. Ali with the ball, plays it across. Walker-Peters isn't going to get there. Mitchell Dix does, finds Josh King. Goes backwards to Mitchell Dix for a second time. Now Corey Jordan. I'd love it if Corey Jordan scores. Crosses in. Mitchell Dix on the volley. Doesn't bother. Takes a controlled touch in the area. Plays it across. Jordan's there. And Corey Jordan has just bloody scored goal of the season. It's not goal of the season. But Corey Jordan is a rubbish right back. He's a rubbish centre back. He's just scored a goal in the 80th minute against Spurs on his debut that has potentially earned us a point. That is a wonderful finish from the youngster. Dix plays it across. Jordan on the volley. Doesn't even think twice. Just blasts it in the back of the net. 5 minutes left to play. Do we try? We can't even do a shout or anything. It's probably going to end 2-2. And if it ends 2-2, we will be finishing 5th because Newcastle have equalised. Posh with the ball. Where are we going to go? To Lewis Cook. Lewis Cook's effort is just over the bar. It is looking like we are going to be finishing in 5th place. It's a throw-in and Ndombele now with the ball for Spurs. Down that right-hand side to Alakouche. Probably not how it's said. Gets past his man, finds Dele Alli. We are over the 95. Ben Davies invited forward from that ball from Ali. Is he going to get round Corey Jordan? He does get round Corey Jordan, who's done a lovely foul. Tactical foul. Probably his second yellow card of the game. If he gets sent off, he's had the most eventful debut you'll ever have in a game of football. He's not being sent off, he's just been told off. Bit of a slap on the wrist there. Jonathan Dos Santos to take the free kick for Spurs. We are a minute now over the 95. Alacush back to Dos Santos, crossed in. It's gone all the way through. It's going to be a goal kick. It is going to be 2-2 at Dean Court. It is going to be a point on the final day of the season. And Corey Jordan he's had a weird game, hasn't he? Coming on after 16 minutes, being blamed for I think the Dele Alli goal, and then scoring a worldie to equalise in the 81st minute. Oh, this is a lovely camera angle going through the stand. So we do finish in 5th place in the table. Joel Linton with an 82nd minute equaliser for Newcastle mean that Chelsea finished below us. It's 70 points. We got 70 points in our first season, 12 defeats, and it was against Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs, and then Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea and Everton. Jack Stacey's injured for 5 to 6 weeks. Doesn't matter. Corey Jordan. We've got Corey Jordan. He's amazing. We're going to go forward a little bit until we get to the end of season awards. I'm not going to go too in depth like I have done on previous saves. I'm just going to have a quick skim. I just want to see what happens at the end of the season, basically. Well, that didn't take long. We're here already, 18th of May. So, end of season awards. Player of the season, Kev. Second place, Mitchell Dix. I 100% agree with all of that, because if it wasn't for those two, we probably would have been relegated. In third is David Brooks. Emerson Hindman gets goal of the season. It's going to have to be an absolute cracker, isn't it? Because the amount of amazing goals we scored, that's going to have to be probably world class. Kev is the signing of the season. Young player of the season is David Brooks. There's some stats as well. So Callum Wilson, top scorer. Kev, highest average rating. David Brooks, most assists, billing, 88% pass completion. Mitchell Dix, 7 man of the match awards. Kev with 18 yellow cards. That's a yellow card every other game. And then Nathan Ake with 2 red cards. Let's have a look at this Emerson Hindman goal then. It better be good. It better be good. Because I'm going to be annoyed if it isn't. So Kev has the ball on the right-hand side. Lewis Cook collects it in the middle. Scrimshaw across to Hindman, I assume, who's just going to go from a long way out. We've scored countless goals like that all season, haven't we? I feel bad that Emerson Hindman has won that because he has only played like 4 games all season. Season review. Few will have tipped Bournemouth to achieve more than a top half finish, but we've managed to qualify for continental football. Good, good, good. Club vision and expectations meeting. So, does the 5-year plan now extend to another season? Is that how it works? So next season they want a mid-table finish once again. They want to get to the Europa League first knockout round as a minimum. They want us through the group stages. Also, my contract expires. And oh yeah, I asked them to improve the youth facilities, which they have done and apparently will be complete at some point next season. And then, yeah, the end of season 21, 22 and so on, just play football in the Premier League. That's fairly boring. End of team meeting. Right then. It's been a long season and I hope you all have a good break. You're going to need to come back fully refreshed. Because, yeah, we're doing it. Come on. I think we're being too ambitious. We're not being too ambitious. We've literally just finished 5th. Why can't we do that again? Okay, we'll go with a top half. Top half, most people think is okay. Some of them still don't think that's good. Philip Billing, Stacey, Gosling, Ramsdale, Lloyd Kelly, Mark Travers and Sam Surridge also think finishing top half, probably not good. Players Team of the Year, Mitchell Dix has managed to get in there. We did get an achievement for this. I wasn't quite sure what it was for. Apparently, it's getting a player in Team of the Year. Congratulations, Mitchell Dix. So, annoyingly, our director of football, just director, has said that we are not expanding our stadium because we can't afford it. Why can we not afford it? We need the bigger stadium. We're in an 11,500 stadium. It's not good enough. Can we just play somewhere else for a bit? However, the board are going to be doing the youth facilities, which they were already doing. We've got our commercial summary stuff that's come through. Everything has increased because we didn't have any stats apparently for last year. We do have a sponsorship deal, which is worth £6 million worth of sponsorship deals, which is good. Scout budget is, sure. As it is 2020, it is the European Championships. So we've got a number of players who are going out to wherever it's being played. Is this the weird one that's being played across 17 different countries? Stefan Posch is going to Austria, Begovic for Bosnia-Herzegovina, Jack Butland in the England squad, Ake, Josh King, Harry Arter, Ryan Fraser, David Brooks and Chris Mepham all going out playing some international football over the summer. And I'm assuming that's Jefferson Lerma. Before we end this episode and this season, I'm going to have a quick look at the old club vision. Obviously, we've seen this bit. I just want to have a look at some of the other things. So, performance-wise, I think this is only kind of the last month or so, but we've been given a B. I'm going to take that as a B for our entire season, which I think is bad. It should be an A because we finished 5th. Transfer activity, then, we've been given an overall of a C plus from the board, but a B minus from the fans. The biggest ones, from the fans' perspective at least, is Kev, Mitchell Dix and Jack Butland, giving us a B plus for Dix and Butland, an A minus for Kev. The board, however, has given us a B minus for everybody. Joshua Zirkzee, an A minus, even though he didn't really play. The board, this is where I've had some problems, and I completely agree, to be honest. There's a lot of things that I've done wrong. Diego Rico selling far too cheap. Danjuma selling him far too cheap. Ryan Fraser going out on loan to Everton probably wasn't the best plan. Adam Smith going out on loan to Colne definitely wasn't the best plan. That is going to do it then for this episode. It was probably a very long episode, but you've got all of Saturday to watch it, so it doesn't matter. If you did enjoy this episode, please do remember to leave a like. If you want to see more, remember to hit that subscribe button, and I'll be back next time for Season 2 of Football Manager 2020 in the beta with AFC Bournemouth.